Ancient secret societies and hidden hands in history. To understand forbidden knowledge, one must first step into the shadowed halls where secrets are guarded as if they are weapons. Throughout history, certain groups have claimed, or have been accused of claiming, hidden truths, secret sciences, and unseen influence over the world stage. These are the secret societies, often whispered about as puppet masters of kings and architects of empires. From the Illuminati to the Rosicrucians, from Templar Knights to hidden Masonic lodges, these groups occupy the twilight between myth and reality. Whether they truly possessed world-changing secrets or merely projected the aura of such, their legacy is the same: mystery, fear, and suspicion. The Knights Templar, soldiers, bankers, heretics. The Knights Templar began in the 12th century as protectors of pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. Yet soon they grew wealthy and influential, controlling banking networks across Europe. Their rise was meteoric, and so was their fall. In 1307, King Philip IV of France, heavily indebted to the Templars, accused them of heresy, devil worship, and obscene initiation rites. Under torture, many confessed to crimes ranging from spitting on the cross to worshipping a mysterious severed head named Baphomet. Were these charges real or fabricated to destroy the order? Scholars argue both sides. But what remains undeniable is that the Templars became one of history's earliest occult conspiracies. Their secret rituals, symbols, and alleged hidden treasures, from the Holy Grail to arcane texts, fed speculation. The Templar myth would inspire everything from medieval heresy trials to modern thrillers, and their supposed connection to later secret societies remains a recurring theory that their legacy was inherited, hidden, and passed on. The Rosicrucians, masters of hidden wisdom. In the early 1600s, Europe was shaken by mysterious pamphlets announcing the existence of the Fraternity of the Rosy Cross, or Rosicrucians. These manifestos spoke of hidden masters, secret wisdom drawn from alchemy, astrology, and esoteric Christianity. The Rosicrucians claimed no desire for wealth or power, only enlightenment and the betterment of humanity. Yet their secrecy, their cryptic language, and their symbols fueled suspicion. Some saw them as enlightened philosophers carrying a lost knowledge of Atlantis. Others accused them of manipulating politics from the shadows. And still others believed they were an invisible brotherhood guiding humanity toward a hidden destiny. Whether the Rosicrucians were real, symbolic, or somewhere in between, their myth gave birth to the idea of occult intellectual conspiracies, that secret wisdom was being withheld, waiting for the chosen few. The Freemasons, builders of stone, builders of symbol. The Freemasons emerged from medieval guilds of stonemasons but transformed into a global fraternity. By the 18th century, they were associated with Enlightenment ideals, political revolutions, and elaborate rituals. Their lodges became places of secrecy. Their symbols, the square and compass, the all-seeing eye, the unfinished pyramid, became sources of speculation. Were these simply metaphors for moral improvement, or were they fragments of older, hidden wisdom passed down from the Templars and Rosicrucians? Freemasons became scapegoats for revolutions and upheavals. In Catholic Europe, they were denounced as heretical. In the United States, they were accused of manipulating politics. The disappearance of William Morgan in 1826, after he threatened to expose Masonic secrets, fueled an entire anti-Masonic political party. Whether or not they control governments, the Freemasons occupy a strange role, both a real fraternal organization and a vessel for centuries of conspiracy theories. The Illuminati, myth, or master puppeteers. Perhaps no group embodies the idea of occult conspiracy like the Illuminati. Founded in 1776 in Bavaria by Adam Weishaupt, the Illuminati was a short-lived society advocating reason, science, and resistance to superstition. Officially, it was dissolved by the late 1780s, yet its legend exploded. The Illuminati became a symbol of hidden elites controlling revolutions, governments, and culture. By the 19th century, they were accused of orchestrating the French Revolution. By the 20th, they were sent to control banking and media. By the 21st, pop stars flashing pyramid hands were declared their agents. Were they truly powerful? Historically, no records suggest the Illuminati was a fringe group. But as an idea, they became immortal. The Illuminati is less a historical order than a mythological conspiracy, a story that gives shape to people's fears about unseen power. Symbols in stone and cityscapes as coded messages hidden in plain sight. Take Washington, D.C. Conspiracy theorists point to the city's street layout, claiming it forms Masonic symbols like pentagrams. The Great Seal of the United States, with its pyramid and all-seeing eye, is often cited as proof of hidden influence. Are these designs deliberate esoteric coding, or simply human imagination seeking patterns? The answer depends on perspective. Yet the symbols endure, because they make the invisible seem visible. They turn architecture into a whisper of conspiracy. The power of secrecy. What unites these groups is not just secrecy, but the perception of secrecy. The idea that they know something we don't, that behind the curtain of ordinary life lies a hidden script. History shows that much of their forbidden knowledge may have been philosophy, mysticism, or symbolic ritual. But once cloaked in silence, such practices grow into myths of world domination. It may not matter whether the Illuminati really exist today, or whether Rosicrucians ever did at all. What matters is that they represent the fear and fascination that someone, somewhere, holds forbidden knowledge shaping the world. Symbols in pop culture and architecture, the language of the hidden symbols, are the alphabet of the occult. They are the signs that bridge the visible world with the unseen, the material with the spiritual. And whether carved in ancient temples, etched into city streets, or flashed by pop stars on global stages, these images carry with them the aura of mystery, conspiracy, and forbidden knowledge. To most, a triangle is just a triangle. To the initiated, or to the paranoid, it becomes a portal to the unseen, a pyramid of power, the eye of God, the emblem of control. Watchful eye of the great architect of the universe. But in conspiracy circles, it has become the emblem of the Illuminati, the symbol of hidden elites keeping humanity under surveillance. Its placement above an unfinished pyramid on the Great Seal of the United States only fuels the mystery. Was this a mere Enlightenment-era metaphor for progress and divine oversight, or a coded declaration of occult control? The pentagram, from sacred star to Satan's mark. The pentagram. 5 points connected by continuous lines has shifted meanings across cultures and centuries. For the Pythagoreans, it was a symbol of harmony and mathematics. In medieval Christianity, it symbolized the 5 wounds of Christ. Yet, in the modern imagination, the pentagram has been transformed. Inverted, it is associated with Satanism and black magic. Aleister Crowley, one of the most infamous occultists, used it in his esoteric rituals. Heavy metal bands plaster it on album covers, while horror films frame it in blood and fire. The pentagrams. Evolution is a story of how symbols are never static. They are containers of meaning, shifting as societies redefine them. The obelisk, pillars of hidden power. From ancient Egypt to modern capitals, the obelisk has stood as a monumental marker. Originally erected to honor sun gods, obelisks represented a bridge between the heavens and earth. Today, they are found in the centers of power: the Washington Monument, the Vatican's St. Peter's Square, London's Cleopatra's Needle. For conspiracy theorists, this is no accident. The obelisk becomes a marker of occult influence, a phallic symbol of hidden control. Do governments simply adopt classical architecture for prestige, or is there a deeper layer of symbolic continuity? An echo of ancient power carried forward? Pop culture's obsession with the occult, modern music videos, films, and even fashion are drenched in occult imagery. Whether intentional or not, these symbols spark endless speculation. Musicians flashing triangles or covering one eye. Fans claim these are Illuminati gestures, signaling allegiance to hidden masters. Artists insist they are just dramatic poses. Hollywood films weaving occult rituals. From Eyes Wide Shut's secret societies to superhero films filled with magical sigils, the occult seeps into pop narratives. Logos and brands echoing esoteric imagery. Corporate logos, pyramids, suns, eyes, rings, mirror ancient symbols. Some argue this is simply effective design. Others see subliminal programming. Whether intentional marketing or subconscious archetypes, the presence of these symbols keeps the idea of hidden influence alive. Imagination. Architecture as a silent spell. Cities are built not only of stone and steel, but of meaning. For those who believe in occult conspiracies, architecture itself is a coded text. Washington, D.C. allegedly hides pentagrams and compasses in its street layout, tied to Masonic planners. Paris boasts the Louvre Pyramid, said to embody mystical geometry. London has its obelisks, its lions, and its hidden numerology. Skeptics argue that these designs are accidents of urban planning or aesthetic choices. Yet, the power of conspiracy thinking lies not in proof, but in pattern recognition. The human mind seeks hidden connections and finds them everywhere. Numerology and hidden codes. Numbers, too, play their role. The number 13, long considered unlucky, is often linked to conspiracies. The 13 steps on the U.S. dollar's pyramid. The 13 stripes on the flag. The 13 stripes on the flag. The 13 founding colonies. Coincidence or deliberate numerology? Addresses or dates. It sparks suspicion. For believers, these numbers are the fingerprints of hidden masters shaping reality according to ancient codes. For others, it is the mind's compulsion to impose order on randomness. The pop star and the occult stage. The rise of global celebrity culture has given conspiracy theorists a new canvas, the stage. When a singer covers one eye, conspiracy forums light up. When a rapper poses with a pyramid hand sign, whispers of Illuminati ties explode. When a music video includes serpents, fire, or ritualistic dancing, the claims grow louder. This is occult indoctrination. For the artists, these may be aesthetic choices, symbols chosen for shock value or drama. But the persistence of the theory suggests something deeper, that society craves the belief in hidden rituals behind fame. Perhaps it is easier to think that celebrities are chosen by shadowy societies than to accept the randomness of fame. Symbols as power. Do symbols hold such power in conspiratorial thought? Because they allow the invisible to become visible. A simple gesture, a carved shape, a repeated number. These become evidence of the unseen hand. In truth, symbols function as mirrors. We see in them what we are primed to believe. To a skeptic, the pyramid is just geometry. To a believer, it is a beacon of hidden control. And so the world becomes a coded manuscript, waiting to be read by those who dare. Government cover-ups and the science of the forbidden. When the word occult is spoken, most imagine shadows and candlelit rituals. But there is another domain where secrecy reigns. The corridors of government. Here, the occult transforms into classified experiments, black budget projects, and files stamped top secret. The stakes are no longer mystical. They are political, technological, and deeply human. Was a whisper that the enemy was studying psychic warriors, UFO propulsion, or mind control. Governments demanded their own programs. And once those programs began, cover-ups followed like shadows at dusk. Project MK Ultra, the science of control. Few government programs have captured the imagination like MK Ultra. Born in the 1950s within the CIA, it was a covert attempt to harness mind control. The methods were grotesque. Unsuspecting individuals were dosed with LSD. Prisoners and psychiatric patients were experimented upon without consent. Hypnosis, sensory deprivation, electroshock, all were wielded like tools in the name of national security. When the program was exposed in the 1970s, the world recoiled. Yet even then, much was hidden. Countless documents had already been destroyed. What remains are fragments, enough to prove that the government had ventured deep into the forbidden in pursuit of control. For many, MK Ultra is proof that no conspiracy is too outlandish. If the state could drug its own citizens in secret, what else could be possible? Remote viewing, psychic spies in the Cold War. Describe distant targets. Some sessions produced uncanny results, descriptions of secret Soviet bases or hidden military installations that seemed too accurate to dismiss. Skeptics argue these were coincidences, cherry-picked successes in a sea of vague guesses. But the very existence of the program reveals something crucial. Governments were willing to spend millions on the occult if there was even the faintest chance it might work. UFO files and the official silence. And with it, governments stepped into a dance of secrecy and denial. The Roswell incident of 1947 is the most famous. Officially, it was a crashed weather balloon. To believers, it was a spacecraft, its wreckage hidden, its occupants dissected. For decades, the U.S. military denied any serious investigation into UFOs. Yet documents later revealed Project Blue Book, Majestic 12, and countless classified reports. In recent years, declassified footage of unidentified aerial phenomena reignited the debate. Objects defying known physics, recorded by military pilots, are now acknowledged as real but unexplained. For some, this is disclosure in slow motion. For others, it is another layer of controlled secrecy, a breadcrumb trail leading nowhere. The link between UFOs and occult conspiracies is natural. Both deal in forbidden knowledge, both blur the line between science and belief. If the government knows more than it admits, then perhaps the world is already stranger than we can imagine. Soviet Union, too, plunged into forbidden research. Psychic powers, telekinesis, even attempts to communicate with the dead were explored under the banner of science. One project sought to weaponize psychotronic energy, a supposed force that could disrupt minds at a distance. Another focused on bioenergetics, an attempt to harness life force itself. Western intelligence took these efforts seriously enough to fund parallel research. For the Soviets, secrecy was absolute. Files remained buried in archives. Only after the collapse of the USSR did glimpses of these programs surface, hinting at how far into the occult the state was willing to reach. Operation Paperclip and the hunt for forbidden science. After World War II, the U.S. secretly recruited Nazi scientists under Operation Paperclip. Many were experts in rocketry and medicine, but within their files were darker chapters: human experiments, occult fascinations, pseudosciences pursued under the Reich. Some of these men carried with them esoteric beliefs, a fascination with ancient Aryan myths, the search for mystical power in symbols, the blending of occult ideology with technological ambition. When they were absorbed into American programs, fragments of that worldview came with them. The legacy of Operation Paperclip is a fusion of science and secrecy, where the boundary between rational research and forbidden obsession blurred. The black budget, money for the unseen. Every government hides money. Conspiracy theorists. This is the fountain from which forbidden research flows. Anti-gravity propulsion, time travel experiments, psychic warfare, weather control. In truth, much of the black budget likely goes to conventional military technology. Yet the secrecy itself is fertile ground for speculation. When billions vanish into hidden programs, who can say what shadows they fund? Cover-ups as rituals of power. Secrecy is not just practical, it is symbolic. By hiding, stand above those left in the dark. The act of classification is itself an occult ritual. The stamping of documents, the sealing of vaults, the whispered initiation into knowledge only a few may hold. Conspiracies flourish not because of proof, but because of silence. When a file is blacked out, when an official says, "No comment," the imagination rushes to fill the void. And in that void, the occult thrives. Readily believe in government occult programs because history has shown them to be possible. MK Ultra happened. Remote viewing was funded. UFO files were hidden. And beyond that, there is something deeply human about imagining that someone, somewhere, knows the truth. Forbidden libraries and mysterious manuscripts. Knowledge is power, and some knowledge has always been considered too dangerous, too destabilizing, too sacred, or too blasphemous to be shared. Across history, rulers, priests, and secret societies have guarded texts that promised enlightenment or destruction. These forbidden libraries and cryptic manuscripts are the beating heart of occult conspiracies. They whisper of lost civilizations, alien wisdom, demonic contracts, and codes that can alter reality itself. Where symbols gave us language and governments gave us secrecy, manuscripts offer us something even more tangible: words on parchment, ink that refuses to fade, and books that tempt anyone who dares to turn their pages. Fires and wars consumed it, leaving only fragments. For conspiracy theorists, however, the library was not merely destroyed. Its treasures were hidden. Secret societies, perhaps even the Vatican, are rumored to have rescued texts of lost sciences, blueprints for technologies we have yet to rediscover. In this myth, the Library of Alexandria is not gone. It is underground, locked away, parceled out to the few who control history. The Vatican Secret Archives, Keeper of the Forbidden, officially renamed the Vatican Apostolic Archives. This vast collection contains over 50 miles of shelving. Access is tightly restricted. Inside are papal documents, letters from kings, and theological records. But the imagination fills in the rest. Conspiracy theorists whisper that within these vaults lie proof of extraterrestrial contact. The true story of Jesus, perhaps even suppressed gospels. Books of magic bound in human skin. Prophecies sealed away to prevent panic. While the Vatican denies such claims, the secrecy fuels more powerful than what is revealed. The Voynich manuscript, a code without a key. Perhaps the most famous mysterious text, the Voynich manuscript, has defied scholars for centuries. Written in an unknown script with bizarre illustrations, plants that don't exist, astronomical charts of strange constellations, nude women bathing in green liquid. It is a puzzle that refuses to be solved. Cryptographers, linguists, even artificial intelligence have tried to decode it. Some suggest it is a hoax, an elaborate nonsense text. It is an encrypted book of alchemy or medicine. Still others whisper it contains knowledge not meant for human eyes, perhaps even alien origin. Its power lies in its resistance to interpretation. The Voynich manuscript is a mirror. We see in it what we desire to believe. The Necronomicon, a fiction that became real, created by H.P. Lovecraft in his stories. The Necronomicon was supposed to be a fictional tome, a book of the dead, filled with incantations to summon cosmic horrors. Yet over time, fiction blurred into reality. Publishers released versions of the Necronomicon, claiming to reconstruct Lovecraft's invention. Occultists began citing it as though it were authentic. Some even insisted Lovecraft had not invented it at all, but had glimpsed a real forbidden book through dreams or visions. The Necronomicon demonstrates the power of belief. A text does not need to be real to be dangerous. Sometimes the mere idea of a book can haunt reality. Philosopher's stone in ink. In the Middle Ages, alchemists filled their notebooks with strange symbols and coded recipes. Their goal, to transmute base metals into gold and to discover the philosopher's stone, a substance said to grant eternal life. Manuscripts such as the Ripley Scroll and the works of Paracelsus brim with allegories. Dragons, kings, suns, and moons, all layered with hidden meaning. To outsiders, these were nonsense drawings. To initiates, they were instructions for the transformation of matter and spirit. Modern chemists dismiss much of alchemy as superstition, yet its legacy shaped modern science, and some still believe its greatest secrets remain encrypted, waiting for the right reader. The Book of Thoth, the Egyptian key to power. In Egyptian lore, there was said to be a book written by Thoth, the god of wisdom. This book contained spells that could command the earth, the sea, and even the heavens. To read it was to wield divine power. Yet every myth insists on a curse. Those who sought the Book of Thoth suffered ruin. It was buried in tombs, guarded by serpents, hidden from humanity. To this day, some occultists claim fragments survive, folded into secret texts, waiting for rediscovery. The Book of Soiga, John Dee's forbidden text. John Dee, advisor to Queen Elizabeth I and famed occultist, possessed a mysterious manuscript known as the Book of Soiga. Filled with tables of letters and numbers, it seemed to be encrypted. Dee himself could not crack it. He consulted with angels through his scryer, Edward Kelly, and was told that only the Archangel Michael could interpret it. Centuries later, scholars rediscovered the book. Modern cryptographers still puzzle over its coded pages. Was it a system of angelic magic, a hoax, or a message designed for readers who have yet to come? The prophecies of Nostradamus. Michel de Nostradamus filled his Les Prophéties with cryptic quatrains. Written in obscure language, they have been interpreted as predictions of plagues, wars, and disasters. To skeptics, Nostradamus is vague enough to be retrofitted to any event. To believers, his prophecies are warnings encoded to survive censorship. In this view, Nostradamus is not merely a poet, but a guardian of forbidden foresight. In history, mystics claim to access them through meditation or trance. If true, this would mean the ultimate conspiracy. All knowledge exists, but only a few can reach it. The rest of humanity stumbles in ignorance, while initiates read the script of reality itself. As a threat, for Vragvir, Bagzir, ten be borther. The dark science of magic. Can ritual be technology? The line between science and magic has always been thinner than we imagine. To one culture, fire was divine. To another, lightning was a god's weapon. Only later did science decode them as natural forces. But what if some of what we dismiss as superstition is not fantasy at all? What if ritual is a form of forgotten technology? The occult has long claimed that symbols, numbers, and words can shape reality. Today, science acknowledges that frequencies can heal or destroy, that waves unseen can carry voices across the planet, that quantum fields ripple with possibilities. The question is not whether reality is strange, it is whether ancient magicians discovered fragments of this strangeness first. Magic as technology of the mind. At its core, ritual is repetition, focus, and intent. Modern psychology proves that repetition rewires the brain, symbols focus thought, and belief changes behavior. What occultists called spells, we now call neuroplasticity. Hypnosis, meditation, visualization. These are scientific methods of shaping perception. The occult framework may have been primitive, but perhaps it touched on truths we now rediscover. Could ritual simply be a technology for programming the human mind? Numerology, as the mathematics of belief numbers, have power in both science and the occult. In physics, equations describe the universe. In numerology, numbers embody archetypes, 7 as mystical, 9 as completion, 13 as danger. While skeptics see coincidence, believers argue that numerology encodes patterns of reality not yet measured by science. Just as string theory proposes hidden dimensions, numerology claims hidden orders. To those who believe, mathematics is not only descriptive, but prescriptive, a tool for shaping fate. Alchemy as proto-science. Alchemy as proto-science. Alchemy straddled the line between mysticism and chemistry. While alchemists sought gold and immortality, they also pioneered distillation, metallurgy, and experimentation. Their symbols hid recipes, their allegories concealed alchemy. The Philosopher's Stone was never found because it was not a physical object but a process. the transformation of consciousness itself. In this view, alchemy was not pseudoscience but an encrypted system of psychological and spiritual technology. Rituals as energy manipulation. Every culture has rituals. Drums to summon spirits, dances to bring rain, chants to heal the sick. Skeptics dismiss these as superstition, but modern science acknowledges resonance, frequency, and the placebo effect. Could rituals tap into some not yet measure? Could chants alter brain waves, or group ceremonies create collective fields of emotion that ripple outward? If so, then ritual is not magic. It is a form of social technology, shaping minds and environments in ways both real and measurable. Magic and quantum mysteries. Quantum physics unsettles the line between science and magic. Particles exist in multiple states until observed. Entangled particles communicate across vast distances. Probability rules reality. These ideas echo occult principles. Reality shifts beyond space, hidden forces beneath the surface. Some theorists argue that occult practices anticipated quantum ideas in symbolic form. Is magic simply a poetic language for describing quantum phenomena long before science had the tools? Technology as the new magic. Look at modern technology from a medieval perspective. Glowing screens, voices across oceans, images pulled from the air, all indistinguishable from sorcery. Arthur C. Clarke's famous law states, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. This raises a chilling question. Could ancient civilizations have possessed technologies we now call magic? Could Atlantis or Lemuria have harnessed forces lost to us, their knowledge encoded in myths of gods and sorcerers? Cults of technology and occult thought. In the modern age, Silicon Valley and secret lodges share something: the belief that knowledge can reshape reality. Tech billionaires fund life extension, AI, and space exploration. Their pursuit echoes alchemy's dream of immortality, magic's dream of transcendence. Some even dabble openly in occult imagery, rituals, esoteric symbolism, coded language. Is this theater, or is there a genuine belief that science and magic are converging? Power in politics. Political ceremonies are drenched in occult echoes, oaths sworn on sacred texts, processions choreographed with precision, symbols displayed on flags and seals. It is performed, and performance has always been magic's domain. The unintended consequences of the occult as technology. If magic is technology, then the dangers are immense. Imagine rituals that destabilize minds, numerological systems that reinforce control, or hidden knowledge that fractures societies. Some argue this has already happened. That mass media is and commerce. The final conspiracy, knowledge itself. At the heart of all these stories, secret societies, symbols, cover-ups, manuscripts, rituals, lies one truth: knowledge is dangerous. It is dangerous because it empowers. It is dangerous because it destabilizes. And it is dangerous because it reminds us that the world is stranger than we are comfortable admitting. Occult conspiracies thrive because they promise that behind the curtain lies truth. But perhaps the real forbidden knowledge is simpler, and that human beings will always seek meaning in the shadows.